That was some royalty-free music. Welcome, B West, and thank you very much, Cowboy Bear. I'm pretty sure that's you. Your handlebar says Jaeger Bear. Thank you very much for that. Congratulations. I didn't get it set up to show the new art on the intro part, so that can wait. All right. Let's see. I've only got I haven't got very many eyeballs on. I've got a new there we go. Getting some Periscope people in. It looks like. So what I'm going to do, what I should have done already, but I am retarded. Oh, it looks like I need to fix something on OBS real quick. Just a really quick. Fix the chat properties. Check it out, guys. Now, bam, we got the chat in the stream for the people who get here later. Looks like B West. Why don't you just? I'm going to tweet out the YouTube link right now because I'm retarded and didn't do it before. So I'm going to tweet it out right now. It looks like your Periscope is for OBS. What you do is you go and make a new window capture, and you select the window for the chat. But every time you restart the chat, you have to restart the thing. Okay, that is now tweeted out. No, it's not. Never mind. Well, this is not going well. Paste. All right. So whoever's here, please let me know how I sound. I have this fancy new mic. I did a little test. I turned the gain way down. Let me know if I need to turn the gain back up. Oh, that's working. Let's delete that tweet because it is useless. There we go. All right, I actually have a write-up this time. There we go. So I'm going to bring it up right now, and I'm going to start reading. Well, I've broken the tradition. I will say good evening and welcome to Field Talk. I am the Field, also known as Field of Bears. Here to remind you that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide, and to talk to you about education and training. Owen Benjamin has talked about his experiences with the American school system at length, and I can tell you that he is by no means alone. An Open Secret posts a news story about a sexually abusive teacher every day. The recent videos by Project Veritas show teacher union personnel actively covering up abuses, and the very structure of schooling is in and of itself an abuse. The day is broken up into 45-minute blocks, punctuated by bells or buzzers that signify immediate dropping of the current work, exploration, or explanation to enter into an entirely different field of study, which will nonetheless miss the point. All of that is compounded by each individual being forced to associate with people who they dislike and who dislike them, under the ultimate threat of the law. There is no way you could call it anything but abusive. I myself may have gotten lucky. I wasn't molested, beaten, or socially isolated, as many people are, but that does not mean I have nostalgia for the compulsory state obedience camp. I make no secret of my neuroatypical state. I am an autist. This made me special needs. There was a lot of effort put into properly socializing me, and as such I found it to be intolerable, and therefore sought solitude to an ever-increasing degree. Now, I eventually picked up a book on reading body language in order to learn why the adults wouldn't just let me be, and that allowed me to interact with other humans to a degree that I had been incapable of before. That cemented in my mind that I was my best teacher, though I didn't have that articulated at the time. Throughout my time at the obedience camp, I learned important life lessons, ones that I wasn't supposed to, like the fact that my peers were the real enforcers of the rules, and that the important rules weren't written down. One of the rules is to never shine too brightly unless you can give a better pounding on the playground than anyone can give you. This all makes sense to me since I learned that our schooling system is based off of what is called the Prussian model, which was explicitly designed to break children and turn them into unquestioning soldiers. This system was adapted to the needs of the 19th century factory workers, and it effectively produced good little cogs who punched in and punched out their entire lives. However, this was not without cost. At the center of the Prussian model is breaking the child's spirit. The destruction of the individual is almost always central to a military training regimen. But, at least in the West, those are voluntary. An adult can choose to undergo something so stressful that the useless, foreign, unhelpful, dead parts of their personality will be stripped from him by pain. And that can be good or bad. A child hasn't become himself yet. To crush the self before or as it emerges can only be survived. Don't get me wrong, there are worse abuses in the world than state obedience camps, but the existence of worse does not negate the bad. To my mind, the breaking of children's spirits will have some fairly disastrous side effects, the first of which being the death of curiosity. If learning new ideas and skills becomes a chore, the spark is doused, exploration is halted, the individual stagnates. Maybe a cog spinning in place isn't a bad thing, but people are not parts in your machine. A person, an individual, can be so much more than a mere part of a system in which they are a thinking member, a tool, a machine. No, an individual can contribute to the system, make it more efficient, alter its direction, or even change it completely. And since every person wants a good system for themselves to live in, there's a good chance that these contributions will be to the good. Empower the individual. So that's what I think about schooling. Thank you for inviting followers. Thank you for tweeting to YouTube. Oh, yeah, the video, the 30-second video earlier, that was a mistake. I was trying to test my new setup. And transition. There we go. Welcome to the new studio. I have 2 cameras now. Check it out. So, yes. Yes, B West is right. That was a mistake. I hit the wrong button. Entirely correct. All right, guys, let me know about your thoughts on education. Now, one thing you might not know is that I'd already known about the Prussian system before it was mentioned by Owen Benjamin, but I did not know about this fellow. What's his name? John Taylor Gatto. Oh, yes, you guys are. I am very happy that you guys are impressed. I'm strangely getting a lot of Periscope guys. I thought the pop screen looked cool, which is why I put it on. I have no idea if it's helping at all. Yeah. Jer Bear. I hope that's your bear name, and you haven't changed it, and I'm not being rude. It tells me that the new mic sounds great, and the new setup with the pop screen looks pretty cool. And I agree, it does look cool, which is the main reason I put it on. Now that there's actually something behind me and I'm not just gesturing to a blank wall telling you how cool it's going to be, it's still not complete because some of my artifacts... Yes, that is the setup you sent me. Cue balls. Watch Stefan Molyneux's presentation on the truth about education. Public education was never needed. In fact, we had closer to 100% literacy rates before the institution of public school was codified into law. You can look it up, it's true. Yeah. I did some test recordings earlier, which is why there was an accidental stream earlier, by the way, and it sounded pretty good on my speakers, but I need to know how it sounds over stream, because I can't tell. So any feedback would be helpful. So, about the setup, since I'm no longer just gesturing to, an empty kind of deal, I've got the chicken hat is up there. When I get to 200 YouTube subscribers, that chicken hat will go on my head as a celebration, and we'll drink beers. And next shelf down, we have this old revolver right here. I need to make a stand for it still. You're going to have to... You're Cowboy Bear, right? I am Owen. Is that... If I am Owen is Cowboy Bear, I'm happy I remembered. If you're not, I'm sorry I forgot. Thank you. You're gonna have to DM me or Discord me to tell me how to do that, or send me a link to a video that shows me how to do that. Thank you very much. Please don't forget. I forget things all the time. Is the echo bad? Is that the deal? Is it too echoey in here? Because there are things I can do about that. This guy right here. This is an old family heirloom. My dad doesn't know very much about it. I think it looks quite old to me. I think it might be from the Civil War. But it's been in the family for more generations than my dad knows about. And that's why it goes up on the shelf. Great static. Alright. So the Audacity filtering. That's good to know. Whoops. No, it's not whoops. Next one, I've got some of my favorite fiction. But Tolkien. I accidentally left the Fellowship somewhere in my house. I need to grab it. I've got Poe, Douglas Grimm's, and Count of Monte Cristo. I'm only halfway through that. I need to get back to reading it. Now, on the next shelf, and it's mostly blocked by the screen, the chat. So, I'm gonna have to move over here. I've got the Holy Bible. That one's the King James. I've got the U.S. Constitution, Plato, Cicero, Aristotle, what is that? Xenophilion, and Sun Tzu's Art of War. Then under that, I've got the TARDIS Teapot, because the show used to be good. Then I've got a chessboard, because that's my favorite game. Over here, I have a bayonet from World War II that a crazy electrician gave me. The electrician is a really cool dude, but he is probably not sane. However, I'm glad to have another piece of history to remind us that the world we live in had a cost. I have no idea if I can do cue balls. I have no idea if there's anything I can do about the buffering. Let's see, OBS says I'm green. Let's check the. Yeah, YouTube says that my stream health is good. It might be your internet this time. Cue balls. All right, so. I haven't heard anything about dead baby in Gaza, actually. No, I haven't heard anything about that, so I can't speak to that. Hugh? That is true, that is true. BUS. The best electricians are crazy because they've been shocked too many times. So for those artifacts, I obviously need to make some kind of stand, which will be helpful. And the next thing, you are now Cowboy Bear on Periscope. Yes, it did. So now I won't be forgetting who's Cowboy Bear. So I'm sorry, Hugh Balls. I don't know about the dead baby. I don't think that when it comes to Israel Palestine, I'm not so sure that Netanyahu is being entirely honest, but I know that Hamas is definitely being entirely dishonest. So I'm against the state in general, and Israel are state actors and are both are not acting morally and are both violating the non-aggression principle. Put the chat over there. Is it? Let me know if the chat is better on that side. Oh no, you can't see the tree anymore. Put it back over, but then you can't see the Constitution. I'll figure this out later, guys. I'll figure out where to put the chat later. I would definitely contest anything that the media puts out. Double check, triple check, try and corroborate, obviously. But like I just said earlier, I think that both sides are state actors and both are violating the NAP. So I'm against the conflict in general, and I'm against states doing things that violate the non-aggression principle in general. But I'm not affected by Israel to the point to where I need to be informed, and I'm much more concerned with the state that I live in than I am with one on the other side of the planet. Hello, Spalsha Bear. We're talking about Israel and Palestine right now. That being said, I think the nation, the people, I think they deserve our support. I think that they are. I think that they are very good people in general. I think their culture is a superior culture in the region. Now my OBS is no longer green, guys, and it frames is a. It was green earlier, but now it's not green. I think I need to call my area stuff, guys. So I'm going to be calling my ISP tomorrow for certain. I'm going to be calling my ISP tomorrow to have them relocate Dish back up high. I think since it's windy out, I think that some branches are getting in the way of the signal, and I live way out in the country. Remember my windmill periscope, little chat up there. When I go up on the windmill to say something to you guys, it just bear in mind I can't actually read my phone because the glare's too bad. Always bear that in mind. Yeah. I hope I made my position on Israel-Palestine clear, even though my position isn't very clear. Yeah, I don't understand it enough to have a very concrete opinion on what's going on in the region. So if anyone knows where I can get trustworthy information about the stuff on Israel, I would be very glad to have access to that information as well. Because I think that probably right-wing American media will be willing to overlook when Israel is acting in the wrong, and I think that left-wing and mainstream American media are outright propagandists for the terrorist organization Hamas. So, yeah, thank you very much. It's actually very helpful. Almost every stream so far has been a test, but probably not a very good thing. Jerbear, are you on Periscope twice? I'm sure Delev would have the insight because she lives there, obviously. And I would love to talk to her. I just don't know when she's available. And I think she's pretty busy with a lot of like the UNN stuff and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I can DM her for sure. And also, I want to. I still want to do a whole show on Israel because I want to learn more about Israel because it's a very important to know about. I want to know about as much history. Shane Smith from Vice is interviewing Netanyahu. There are a few short videos on YouTube from Vice covering both sides. Really? Okay, yeah, DM me the link to that, Hugh. Or Discord them to me, because I am on the Discord. even though I don't do a lot in the Discord, I'll try to be on there more now that I have my studio set up, and I'll set like alarms for the events for people who go on Discord, because you're pretty great. So the more hanging out I can do with you. Oh, one more thing. I put out a tweet earlier this week to see if there would be interest in a meetup for Californians, and you guys are very interested in having as much fun as possible. Yeah, either one. I can get another Discord link. It's not difficult. Let me see. Invite. Copy. Twitter. Alright, and I just tweeted the link to Discord. Ooh. Did I? Yeah. Twitter is acting up. It's not working. Never mind. I lied. Yeah. Obviously, I want to learn as much as we can, because I would like to do a stream that is just exclusively about Israel. I want to know about the formation. I want to know about various wars that Israel has been involved with, and how much of it is clear and how much of it is in the murk. I'd like to know all about that stuff. And then I would like to see as much information as I can possibly get about the current situation. Yeah. And now that Cowboy Bear, the Discord link is out on the Twitters. So if anyone knows good resources for that kind of information, then like comment, DM it to me, add it to me. I'm pretty bad about getting back to stuff because I am not very organized, but I will probably see it because I don't have as much as famous people do. Right, Space Battleship. Okay. Thank you for that act. I will definitely watch it later, but I think Vice is pretty harsh on those copyright strikes. So that would be a problem, I think. Just a slight little problem. So like an hour on as much information, as much as I can learn about Israel as possible. But I don't know enough about Israel to comment beyond they are both state actors, and I think they're both acting immorally, because that's what state actors do. So that is my very clearly stated, unclear position, born from a relative ignorance of the situation due to a lack of available information. Well, apparently it is the generic link. I'll try again. Invite. Copy. Copied the link, okay. Yeah, I right click on the server and hit invite people, and I use the copy button because it's hidden because it's in stream mode, and right on over to Twitter. B West, what are the fair use guidelines more in line with fair use or more draconian? I was wondering about that, Cowboy Bear. I thought you might be on there twice. I can't really test if that link is when it works. Oh yeah. Also, I am now a grandmaster in the Grandmaster Baron, the not occult, which is the Unbearables, because I have made it to 1,000 followers on the Twitter, which I am rather proud about because I didn't block anyone though. I don't like blocking because that makes sense. That does make sense. B West. YouTube and Google are they are in the. I was listening to that interview with Gatto, and it was talking about how they control the newspapers uh, by being the advertisers, by leveraging advertising firms against the newspapers. And I think that's what's happening to Google and YouTube. But I think that YouTube and Google are actually in a better position to exert leverage than the ones who are exerting leverage against them. And I think it's cowardice that's holding them back. Actually, I think that I think that in the information age, that spreading your information is so much easier that advertising firms are coming very close to being obsolete. So the people who have been in control of those industries are attempting to leverage their remaining control to get the information firms into their back pocket. Google, Microsoft, Facebook. But Facebook, they don't even need to leverage against Mark Zuckerberg because he's an evil robot. Delete your Facebook, guys. I don't see any good reason to have it. Even though my parents are really annoyed with me for not participating in that particular social media because it puts me out of the loop for some family functions. I figure if they want me to be in the function, they'll send me a text message. And they do, because they do. And if we want these service providers to change their Baroque. I don't know what Periscope tones are, Jerbear. I just. Oh, you mean putting on some Baroque music? Yeah. Do well on your exam. I'm sure you will. I hope it actually means something. We are. I don't think I'm going to go the full hour today because my write up it didn't lead us into any further discussion, and I haven't been consistent with my time, so people, and I didn't promote very well today, so there aren't very many people for us to interact with. Yes. I was confused for a minute because I was thinking about architecture. Cowboy Bear. I think that 30, just over 30 minutes is an okay length. I don't feel bad about ending it here. Uh, do all of the social media things to let me know on the comments or on Twitter what day you guys think we should get. Yeah, Cowboy Bear is going to crush that exam. His giant dick. Yeah, so what I want to know is what day should be our writing day. I think it should be Friday. I think it should be Friday. Friday's a good day. I'm gonna be taking Thursdays off because that's when Crowder is on YouTube, and I won't have the prep time if I'm paying attention to Crowder. So Thursdays are gonna be off, but 6 days a week here, 6 o'clock p.m. and one day a week for writing. So everyone have a good night, and always remember that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. Let's end the screen.